I want to ask you something, and I don't want you to answer too quickly. What do you think light really is? Most people respond with confidence. Some say it's energy traveling through space. Others say it's made of tiny particles racing across the universe at unimaginable speeds. A few might give a more scientific answer and call it an electromagnetic wave. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Every one of those answers is incomplete. Not exactly wrong, but nowhere near deep enough to capture what light truly is. Because light is not just another object in the universe. It is one of the fundamental threads from which reality itself is woven. I have spent decades thinking about this question, and the more you examine light, the stranger it becomes. Stranger than black holes, stranger than the birth of the universe. In many ways, light is the bridge connecting all the great mysteries of physics. So let's carefully dismantle what you think you know and rebuild it from the ground up. Let's begin with a simple assumption, that light moves. It feels obvious, doesn't it? Sunlight takes about 8 minutes to reach Earth. Light from distant stars travels for thousands, even millions of years before entering your eyes. Movement implies time. A journey implies distance. But now I want you to step into a perspective that almost no one considers, the perspective of the light itself. In Einstein's theory of special relativity, there is a concept called proper time. Proper time is the time experienced by something as it travels through space-time. You experience it right now. Seconds pass. Your body ages. Thoughts arise and disappear. But a photon, a particle of light, experiences zero proper time, not a little time, zero. The photon leaving the surface of the sun and the photon arriving at your retina exist from its own perspective in the same instant. No waiting, no traveling, no passage from past to future. Emission and absorption are the same event. Pause for a moment and let that sink in. To you, the light has crossed 93 million miles. To the photon, there was no distance at all. Now extend that idea further. Imagine a photon born in the Andromeda galaxy over 2 million light years away. For us, that photon has been traveling since before humans existed in their modern form. Yet from the photon's perspective, the moment it was created is the moment it arrived. No space, no time, no journey. Our intuition rebels against this because our brains evolved to understand slow things, walking speeds, falling objects, drifting clouds. Nothing in our daily lives prepares us for what happens at the speed of light. But the universe does not consult our intuition. It obeys mathematics, and the mathematics is mercilessly clear. Photons do not experience time. This raises a deeply philosophical question. Does light actually move at all? From our frame of reference, absolutely. We measure its speed with extraordinary precision, about 292,458 meters per second. That number is so important that we literally define the meter using it. But from the photon's frame, if such a frame can even be said to exist, there is no motion, no ticking clock, no separation between beginning and end. Light simply connects events. Now let's confront another idea everyone thinks they understand, the speed of light. You've probably heard it described as the ultimate speed limit of the universe. Nothing can go faster, not matter, not energy, not information. And that is true, but only in a vacuum. When light passes through water, glass or air, it appears to slow down. In water, it travels roughly 75% of its vacuum speed. In certain engineered materials, scientists have slowed light dramatically, even to speeds you could outrun. At first glance, that sounds like we've broken a cosmic rule, but we haven't. Here's what actually happens. Individual photons never slow down. Between interactions, they always travel at the universal speed limit. What changes is the path they must take. As photons enter a material, they are absorbed by atoms and almost instantly re-emitted. Absorb, release, over and over again. Each interaction introduces a microscopic delay. Billions of these tiny pauses accumulate, making the overall signal appear slower. Imagine driving down a highway at full speed, but hitting a red light every few blocks. Your car never lost its capability. It was simply interrupted. Light behaves the same way. And this subtle detail leads us to something spectacular. If light moves slower inside a material, then other particles can sometimes move faster than light within that same material. When that happens, nature produces something extraordinary called Cherenkov radiation, a luminous blue glow often seen in nuclear reactors. It is the optical equivalent of a sonic boom. Just as an aircraft creates a shock wave when exceeding the speed of sound in air, A charged particle creates a shock wave of light when it outruns light in a medium. It looks almost supernatural, but again, the deeper speed limit remains intact. Nothing exceeds light in a vacuum. The universe guards that boundary fiercely because it protects something even more fundamental: causality, the rule that cause must come before effect. Now you might wonder whether anything could ever break that limit. Physicists have imagined hypothetical particles called tachyons that would always travel faster than light. They could never slow down to our speeds, just as we cannot accelerate to theirs. But tachyons come with disturbing consequences. They would allow information to move backward in time, unraveling the logical structure of reality itself. Most physicists suspect tachyons are mathematical ghosts rather than physical objects. Still, their possibility reminds us that the universe is far stranger than we tend to assume. Now let's address the deepest question yet. What is light? For centuries, scientists argued about this. Newton insisted light was made of particles. Later experiments showed unmistakably wave-like behavior, interference, diffraction, patterns that only waves could produce. Then Einstein overturned everything again by proving that light also behaves like discrete packets of energy, photons. So which is it? Wave or particle? The answer is unsettling. Light is neither. It is a quantum object, something that does not fit into the categories our everyday language was built to describe. When you design an experiment that detects waves, light behaves like a wave. When you design one that detects particles, it behaves like a particle. Reality does not choose one identity. The experiment reveals one face of a deeper truth. Consider the famous double-slit experiment. Even when photons are fired one at a time, they still form an interference pattern, as if each photon travels through both slits simultaneously and interferes with itself. Only when observed does it settle into a definite outcome. After a century of quantum mechanics, we can predict this behavior perfectly, but explaining what it means remains one of the greatest open questions in science, and yet the strangeness does not end there. Enter quantum entanglement. Create two photons together, and their properties can become inseparably linked. Measure one, and the other instantly reflects that measurement, even if separated by vast cosmic distances. Einstein famously called this spooky action at a distance. It sounds like faster than light communication. But nature closes the loophole once again. The results of each measurement are random. You cannot control them, which means you cannot encode a message. Only when observers later compare results, using ordinary slower-than-light communication, do the correlations emerge. Once again, the universe preserves its internal consistency. No shortcuts through causality, no breaking the cosmic order. Now step back and look at the broader picture. What we call visible light is only a tiny slice of a vast electromagnetic spectrum. Radio waves, microwaves, infrared, ultraviolet, X-rays, gamma rays, they are all the same phenomenon. All are light. The difference is only energy and wavelength. Your microwave oven cooks with light, your phone communicates with light, medical imaging peers through your body with light. This unified understanding began with James Clerk Maxwell, who revealed that electricity and magnetism are two expressions of a single force. His equations predicted waves moving at exactly the speed of light, long before anyone grasped the implication. Einstein later recognized the deeper truth. The speed of light is not merely about electromagnetism. It is the speed at which reality itself can propagate influence, the speed of cause becoming effect, the speed that structures space-time. So when you ask what light is, you are really asking something far bigger. You are asking how the universe connects events, how time relates to space, how information flows, how reality maintains its coherence. Light is not just something you see. It is the architecture of the cosmos made visible. Now let's push even deeper, because everything we've discussed so far, strange as it sounds, is only the surface of the mystery. If the speed of light defines how fast anything can move through space, there is an equally profound implication hiding underneath it. The speed of light also defines how fast you move through time. This idea sounds abstract, but once you see it clearly, it completely changes how you think about motion itself. In relativity, every object in the universe is always moving through space-time at the same total speed, not just through space, through space-time. Think of it like a cosmic budget that must always add up to the same number. When you are sitting still in a chair, barely moving through space, you are actually moving entirely through time. Second by second, moment by moment, you surge forward into the future at the maximum rate allowed. But start moving faster through space, and something remarkable happens. Your motion through time slows down. This is not philosophy. This is measured reality. Astronauts on the International Space Station age slightly less than people on Earth because they are moving faster. Particle accelerators routinely push subatomic particles to speeds so close to light that their internal clocks nearly stop. Some particles that should decay in microseconds survive thousands of times longer simply because time itself has slowed for them. Now imagine pushing this to the extreme. As an object approaches the speed of light, its motion through time approaches zero. From our perspective, its clock ticks slower and slower. At light speed, the limit, time stops entirely. This is why photons experience no passage of time. Not because they are magical, but because the geometry of space-time demands it. And here is where things become even more fascinating. You might ask, why can't we just accelerate something to the speed of light? The answer lies in energy. The faster you move an object, the more energy it requires. But unlike everyday intuition, where doubling your speed might double the energy, relativity behaves differently. As you approach light speed, the energy required doesn't just increase, it explodes toward infinity. To accelerate even a tiny grain of sand to light speed would require more energy than entire civilizations could generate. The universe has effectively built an impenetrable wall into its laws. But notice something subtle. The universe did not forbid fast travel arbitrarily. The speed limit protects the structure of cause and effect. If signals could travel infinitely fast, the concept of before and after would collapse. In some frames of reference, an effect could occur before its cause. Paradoxes would multiply. Reality would become logically inconsistent. So the speed of light is not just a number. It is a safeguard for the coherence of existence. Now let's turn to gravity, because light reveals something astonishing about it. For centuries, people thought gravity was a force pulling objects toward one another. But Einstein showed that gravity is not really a force at all. It is the curvature of space-time itself. Mass tells space-time how to curve. Curved space-time tells objects how to move. And light obeys this curvature. You might think light, having no mass, would be immune to gravity. But that is not what happens. When light passes near a massive object like the sun, its path bends. Not because gravity is tugging on it in the traditional sense, but because space-time itself is warped. Light is simply following the straightest possible path through a curved geometry. This phenomenon, called gravitational lensing, allows astronomers to see galaxies hidden behind other galaxies. Massive clusters act like cosmic magnifying glasses, bending light toward us. In some cases, we see multiple images of the same galaxy, light that took different routes across the universe arriving at different times. Think about that. You can literally observe the past unfolding along separate pathways. Light becomes a messenger, carrying history across billions of years. When you look at distant stars, you are not seeing them as they are. You are seeing them as they were. Astronomy is a form of time travel, not by moving backward yourself, but by receiving ancient light that has been en route since long before Earth existed. Every photon is a relic, a survivor, a storyteller. Now let me introduce an idea that many physicists quietly suspect, but rarely phrase so bluntly. It may be that the universe is, at its deepest level, made not of matter, but of information. And light is the primary carrier of that information. Whenever anything happens, a star ignites, an atom transitions, a particle collides, information radiates outward at the speed of light. These signals weave together the observable universe. In fact, there is a fundamental boundary to what you can ever know, called the cosmic horizon. Beyond a certain distance, space expands so rapidly that light emitted there will never reach you, not even in infinite time. Those regions are forever causally disconnected from us. Imagine entire galaxies whose light will never touch another world, entire histories that will remain unread. Light defines the boundary between the knowable and the unknowable, but the story grows even stranger near black holes. At the edge of a black hole lies the event horizon, a surface beyond which light cannot escape. Once crossed, all paths lead inward. From the outside, something falling toward the horizon appears to slow down, its light reddening, fading, freezing in time. It never quite seems to cross. Yet from the falling object's perspective, it passes through without drama. Two realities, both correct. This tension between viewpoints hints at something profound, that spacetime itself may not be fundamental. Some theoretical physicists now suspect that spacetime emerges from deeper quantum relationships, almost like a hologram projected from underlying information. And once again, light sits at the center of these ideas, because the maximum amount of information that can fit inside a region of space is proportional not to its volume, but to its surface area, measured in units tied directly to the speed of light and gravity. It is as if reality stores its data on cosmic screens. Now step back and appreciate the pattern. Light defines time. Light defines causality. Light reveals gravity. Light carries information. Light sets the boundary of knowledge. It is not merely something within the universe. It helps define what the universe is. And perhaps the most humbling realization is this. Despite centuries of progress, we still do not fully understand why the speed of light has the value it does, why quantum mechanics takes the form it does, or how these principles ultimately unite. Every answer uncovers deeper questions. So the next time sunlight warms your face or starlight catches your eye, remember, you are not just witnessing illumination, you are touching one of the fundamental limits of reality itself, a silent reminder that the universe is far stranger, far more elegant, and far less intuitive than our everyday experience suggests. The difference is only energy and wavelength. Your microwave oven cooks with light. Your phone communicates with light. Medical imaging peers through your body with light. This unified understanding began with James Clerk Maxwell, who revealed that electricity and magnetism are two expressions of a single force. His equations predicted waves moving at exactly the speed of light, long before anyone grasped the implication. Einstein later recognized the deeper truth. The speed of light is not merely about electromagnetism. It is the speed at which reality itself can propagate influence, the speed of cause becoming effect, the speed that structures space-time. So when you ask what light is, you are really asking something far bigger. You are asking how the universe connects events, how time relates to space, how information flows, how reality maintains its coherence. Light is not just something you see. It is the architecture of the cosmos made visible.